The Guilty. This is a film that's currently on Netflix. It's a remake of a foreign film, and this one stars Jake Gyllenhaal, where he plays a disgraced detective who is now a 911 call operator and has a crazy night when he gets a call from a woman that he believes has been abducted. This is directed by Anton Fuqua. These two worked with each other on the film Southpaw in 2015. I'm not going to say what I thought about it yet, because even I'm kind of mixed. I'm not sure what I'm going to give this, but there are things about it that I think are really, really admirable, and it starts with the lead performance by Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is amazing in this. He's not just good, he's amazing. And I've been under the belief for a while now, really for the last decade, that I think Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the best actors working. I think he is remarkably underrated. I think sometimes he's in movies that aren't great, but he's always great in them. And I respect the fact that he just keeps taking roles that allow him to stretch as an actor. And yeah, every so often he'll take something kind of light like Spider-Man, but even in that he was great. And in this movie, just on a pass-fail system, works because the main performance works. He is in every single shot of this film, and he's mesmerizing once again. This is one of his best performances, and another borderline Academy Award nomination worthy performance that's probably going to get overlooked because the movie is just so-so. I like the fact that this film doesn't pull any punches. I talked about this when I reviewed Venom, that I'm kind of tired of the sanitization? Yeah, sure. Of Hollywood films. I'm tired of the clean sheen that so many of them have. I like a film with a little bit of grit, with a little bit of bite. This is kind of a disturbing film. Some really messed up things happen. They don't really show it. Like, there's no blood or violence. A lot of it is implied violence or violence that's talked about off screen, but it is disturbing, and I appreciated it for that. Like, the movie actually has a legit bite, which is something that so many Hollywood films lack. This is such a simple compliment that I'm about to give, but given the amount of terrible movies that I've seen this year, I feel like it's warranted. This movie has a story. It's about something. It has a main character with an arc. Things happen. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's a protagonist who I'm really interested in. Despite the fact there are points where he's fairly unlikable, I found his character to be really interesting, and those are all very basic elements of movie making, and yet so many films nowadays seem to forget about them. It's been a few days since I've seen Venom, and I still find myself asking, what the hell was it about? Here, there's a good premise and a good story. Is it flawlessly executed? No, not at all, but I think I do have to call this a good movie because it hits many of the beats that a basic good film should hit. It's not without its faults, though, and really it starts with the screenplay, in my opinion. I don't think that this is a particularly well-written film. I think Gyllenhaal does an amazing job of elevating the material, but I was watching it and I was just thinking, a lot of this dialogue is pretty poorly written, I feel like. Now, he does a good job with it. He does the best he can, but I think that it might have suffered from being a little bit too faithful to the original source material, and because of that, some of the dialogue comes off as just a little bit clunky at points. Really, though, this is a movie that is a bottle film. It essentially takes place all in one location, and as far as bottle films go, I feel like if you really want to make a good one, you have to move at an incredible pace, or else the audience is going to kind of get bored, because one of the purposes of movies is to see kind of different locations. If you're having a film that takes place all in one spot, you need to move at a great pace, and this has its dull moments. I feel like Anton Fuqua, who as a director has done a good job of making really well-paced movies in the past, maybe didn't bring his A game to this to a certain extent, because there are those moments where the movie slows down and you get a little bit bored. I think a bottle film recently that did a great job of moving at a great pace and keeping you interested from beginning to end was 7500 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the Amazon Prime film that came out during COVID last year. That movie takes place all in the cockpit of an airplane, and it's incredibly tense. It made my top 10 list last year. I really like that film a lot. It's similar to this, where both films have really good core performances that are not just good, but great. But the difference is I felt like 7500 was more well-directed and more tense, where here, given the story, you really should feel the tension. You should really be on the edge of your seat with every single line of dialogue. And I was just kind of like, just more kind of relaxed watching it. I felt like this is where you need a director like a Catherine Bigelow, somebody who can come in and really rev up the tension and get you really excited as this thing's, going from one scene to another. You don't really have that, and I do feel like it bogs this movie down. It's a short film, but I'd be lying if I wasn't bored at points. I mean, I think that there's a couple phone call sequences that probably could have been cut out. I think maybe it's just one of those things that worked better in the original source material that isn't really well executed here. I do recommend this movie. I do like this movie. I could even see myself liking it more over time because it does have some elements that I feel like are going to stick with you. Gyllenhaal's performance is mesmerizing, and like I said, it's disturbing, and I think there's some really unique moral implications to this character that I think are going to keep people talking. So I'm going to give this a 6, but it's a 6 trending upward. And the only reason it's that low, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, let's go 6.5. We'll go 6.5 here. I rarely give out half points or half ratings, but this is too good to just be a straight 6. I feel like the execution, well, maybe a little bit muddled at points, was generally pretty good, and I just think that the core performance by Gyllenhaal is so spectacular that it's worth a watch on Netflix, actually. Good job. This is an all right little movie. All right, that'll do it for this review. You can follow me on Twitter at Castellani 2014. A link to my Twitter page is in the description for this video. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get those watch hours up. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Peace and happiness.